turning away from our experiences. The first way we can turn away from uncomfortable or unpleasant experience is by blame. Have you ever lost something? I always love giving this example because the reality is when we lose something, when we can't find something in our house, we can feel unpleasant. Unpleasant sensation arises in the body, but often we're not aware of it because we turn away from this experience with blame. We blame our partner. If we live with our partner or if we live with children, we instantly go to the fact that our partner moved it, our children must have moved it. If we don't live with anybody, our mind and thoughts often go to the last person who was visiting us and we blame them for taking it. And the next day, the thing that was missing was in the same place we had left it. Blame is one of those things we must really look out for because blame can, again, hijack our sobriety. Another way we turn away from our experience is through self-pity. So, for example, we may have had a slip. And when we have a slip, our thoughts say, oh, I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I can never get this recovery thing right. And when we move into self-pity, we are again turning away from our internal barometer, turning away from our feeling tone. When we turn away from experience with self-pity, it can trip us up. It can also trigger those mediating thoughts that I spoke about the other week. Thoughts which say, well, I've slipped, I'm a loser, I may as well just continue, I may as well go on a bender. So we need to be really aware of self-pity, really aware when we run or flee to the place of poor me. The third way we can turn away from experience is distraction. One of the common ways we do this today is by watching box sets, by watching a whole series which may be 8 hours long, and we binge watching these on television. Another way we can distract ourselves is binging on chocolate, or surfing on the internet, or going shopping, or having sex. Admittedly, distraction can be helpful, but it can only be helpful if we begin to look at distraction as taking time out. Sometimes I work in school, and sometimes some of the children are struggling in the class, and it's obvious that they're finding things really difficult. And so I give them the opportunity to take time out, where perhaps they can connect to the breath and calm down a bit. And when they're ready, they come back into the classroom. So when we distract ourselves, it can be a good thing if we know that we are going to come back to whatever it is that we are distracting ourselves from. So yes, it's helpful for us to take time out, but we do in the end have to face that difficult experience. Difficult experiences are always lurking under the surface. I'll give you another example. Couples. There are some couples who they have a big fight, they have an argument, they feel unpleasant, and how do they make up? They make up by having sex. And initially, that can feel good. They feel great. And they're all lovey-dovey after the sex for a day. And then the next day, they're having a row again. And then what do? They fall back into bed and have sex. And they get caught up into this cycle of having rows and having sex. And they're caught up in this cycle because they are constantly turning away from the difficult experiences which are arising in their relationship. Every time we turn away from our experience, we are weakening our sobriety. Every time we turn towards our experience, we are strengthening our sobriety.